Alright, welcome back everyone for another video. So if you guys can hear slightly the background noise, my kid is in the bedroom with me. You need to sit down and be quiet, please. I gave you that stuff to play with so you can shush and not annoy your dad out there. Yeah, his dad is home as well. He's actually out in the living room doing whatever the hell he's doing. So I'm trying to keep making hair out of his hair and not annoying him. But instead, he's going to be in my video. So I have been trying to get my Bible studies recorded for the last couple weeks. And I have not had any success in them. 2 weeks ago, I tried recording Genesis and John as well, and it did not record, or it didn't get saved. I don't know what happened with that one. Last week, files were corrupt. Actually, the week before that, files were corrupt too. So this is the SD card for my Canon here, the one I've been using for all my videos. The SD card I'm using in my camera right now is from my Nikon. I have not had any problems with it, so I'm going to test this one out and see how this one does with recording the videos and actually getting it onto my phone so I can actually upload it. So I really don't want to do a really long Bible study today or this week, in case that it just does not come out well. Okay, I want to test this SD card out. I really do apologize. I have not been able to keep up with my Genesis and John study, but it's been really frustrating not being able to get any kind of study out because either my camera or my SD card is just does not want to work. Okay, normally I'll be saying like a cuss for like the FU word, like, but I'm trying to lessen my cussing. Either way, the SD card is basically telling me to like, I don't want to work, go piss off, kind of thing. So I'm trying to figure out if it's my camera or if it's the SD card. If for some reason this one does not come out the way I want it to, and it does come out corrupt, then I know it's something wrong with the camera. That maybe the camera just needs to be cleaned instead of the actual SD card. So we'll find out. So today, instead of doing Genesis or John, I am going to stick to something really simple, really small. I'm going to do Psalms. I don't want to do something extremely long, extremely detail-oriented because of the fact that there is a high chance that this might not actually come out the way I want it to. And if it doesn't, then it's going to be really annoying me, and I might just kind of flip. So yeah, so let's go ahead and just do Psalms 2, and then I will also do Psalms 3. So this coming week, I'll just do Psalms 2 today, Psalms 3 tomorrow, and then we'll see how my camera does with this SD card, and then go from there. If with any luck, if this actually does come out well enough, then next week I'll be able to do Genesis and John with this SD card. So please pray that this actually does come out fairly well. Okay. Okay. Shh. Whisper time. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into Psalms 2. Okay. So it says, Why do the nations rage, and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs, and the Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron, and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, O king, be wise, be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish in the way. For his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Alright, so the first thing I want to point out is the very first thing, the why do the nations rage and people plot in vain? That is from Acts 4:25 or 26, or not from it. It's quoted over there. Okay. The other part is, the next part is where it says the kings of the earth set themselves, rulers take counsel against his anointed one. Okay, so basically saying, so since the Tower of Babel, people have been literally setting themselves against God. They've been bounding themselves together, but against God at the same time, because of, at the time when Babel was around, or when Babel was being built, they didn't trust that God was not going to flood the earth again. They didn't trust him at that point. So basically right now what it's trying to say is people are doing the exact same thing they did back then when the Tower of Babel was being built. They don't trust that God is going to provide for them or take care of them, or he's not going to flood the earth again, and they're binding themselves together, but they're setting themselves against God. Okay, so they both oppose the Lord and his anointed one, which is aka Christ. So then it goes into sex saying that he who sits in the heavens laughs, the Lord holds them in derision. So basically he's saying that God is laughing because he isn't afraid and he isn't confused about anything. Okay, literally we all know that God is all-knowing. He's very confident. Okay, he knows everything, so he's not confused, or he's not. Well, I don't know how to explain it. He's literally not. That's the best I can say. Like, he's not afraid. He's not confused. Okay. So verse 5 is basically saying that he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury. So he's not inactive, and he's not really against. Let me try to reword this. So he's going to. I am ruining this right now. I'm just not understanding. I'm trying to reword this in a way it's going to make sense. So he's basically, like I said, he's not inactive, and he acts against a defiant mankind. Okay, so we already kind of know that he says speak to them in his wrath. Okay, we already know mankind is extremely defiant. They don't want to follow what God was trying to do in the first place, what Jesus was sent here to do. So they're literally defying him. Okay, and he says terrify them in his fury. Okay, so he's setting a king on Zion, which is the holy hill, which is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is Zion. Okay, so he's establishing a king, which we already know the king is Jesus, and Jesus doesn't come until the New Testament, so years later. And then he's going to set a decree. He says, I will tell of the decree, you are my son, to have begotten you, ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage. So he holds them as his, the nation, and then he is, the end of the earth is his possession. So he's basically saying that he's setting Jesus as the king of Zion, Jerusalem, and that he has not begotten him. So the son, it is, today I have begotten you, you are my son. That is literally quoted in Acts 13:33 and Hebrews 1:52, and then also in 5:55. Okay, so we have quite a bit of verses that are in Psalms that are quoted into the New Testament, and this is just one little area that is quoted in like several different areas. Okay, And then it says, you shall break them with a rod of iron. Now, I want to quote out the fact that this was mentioned in not Jerusalem, in Revelations. It's mentioned in It is mentioned in Revelations 2:27, 12:5, and then 19:15. Okay, so basically what he's trying to say is that they are like clay pots, and he will dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Then he goes on to say, he says, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Okay, so he's basically calling the kings of the earth to surrender to God. Okay, he is telling them to kiss the Son, which is basically a form of submission. And then, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. So we already know that God's kind of, he's a vengeful God, but he's also, sit down. Close the door, please. Okay? Sit down. So he's basically saying, so those who defy God are basically broken, but those who depend on him are blessed, which is what it comes into the very last line here, where it says, blessed are who take refuge in him. But he's basically saying that don't be angered, or submit yourself. Close the door. I'm trying not to disturb Daddy. Okay. Shh. So this is the problem. This is the reason why I usually don't have my kid in the bedroom with me. But so really sorry for the distraction, but you guys are gonna have to just kind of bear with it for today, given how I'm trying to keep him from annoying Dad. Stop touching my stuff and put it away now. Scooch. Sit right there. Thank you.
That's not yours. That's for Mom.
Shh.
Mom. That's for Mom.
So he's saying, okay, so like he said, he's saying, serve the Lord with fear, rejoice with trembling, kiss the Son, lest you be angry and perish in the way, for his wrath good. So he basically saying is, surrender to God, submit to him by submit to the Son, well, kiss the Son, and that way, if you do that, then he won't be angry and they won't perish in the way, because God's anger, God's wrath is easily kindled. It's easily put out if they do this, if they submit and surrender themselves to God. But outside of that, so it says, blessed are all who take refuge in him. So literally saying, if you depend on him, if you take refuge in God, then you're blessed. So yeah, really sorry about the distraction. Okay, normally he's not in here with me. But yeah, so that is all of Psalms 2. That was pretty straightforward, easy to kind of understand. I did mess up at the around the middle of it. I just could not get around my mind around how to explain it properly. So yes. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I think I've annoyed you enough with not only myself but also with Nick as well. So I will see you guys in the next video. The next video, like I said, will be Psalms 3. Shh, child. Alright, so go ahead, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell button so you get notifications. And then, of course, share this video with other people so we can get actually more viewers. And like I said, next week, if this video comes out the way I want it to, next week I will be able to do Genesis and Psalms, Genesis and John again, continuing for my last Bible study. Alright, you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.
Bye guys. Bye. Bye guys.